I just got back from a family vacation where I got this sweatshirt, and on the sweatshirt it says, "All good things are wild and free." And I didn't notice this actually until I got home that it said it on the sweatshirt because I was just walking through the store. And I tend to crop sweatshirts because like my hips are a good size, but like my waist is a little bit skinnier. So if I don't like carve out a space for my waist, I kind of just look like a pretty wide person. So I tend to like crop things now to like fit my figure a little bit better. So I was walking around in the store and I was like, please let me find just I was like, I'm not actually gonna buy a sweatshirt unless I see a crop sweatshirt that just is like calling out my name. And right then and there, I looked up and I saw this sweatshirt and I was like, oh, it's it. And I didn't even look at it. And I got home and I realized that it said all good things are wild and free. And that's definitely true. And I love this sweatshirt so much. Just called right out to me. But all good things are wild and free, and it makes me think, of course, because like I'm a biology nerd, it makes me think of the cell. All good things are wild and free, And people oftentimes they ask me like, "Oh, do you have a good supplement?" Someone asked me yesterday, "You have a good supplement for insomnia? Like I'm having trouble sleeping. I need to help my body get into a restful state." And I tell them, the cell needs an abundance of nutrients. You can try and you can supplement with a single supplement. Like chamomile is great at night. I drink a chamomile tea, a decaf tea. I love tea. I'm a tea girl. But at the end of the day, the body needs nutrients. There's nothing more loving and wild and free than yourself feeling calm and at peace. You know what I'm saying? And of course, like everything in my life tends to bring me back to just this thought of the cell. And you can call it obsession. I prefer to call it passion. But I'm just always reminded of where this freedom comes from. It comes from our biology, like at the cellular level. Our body's made of light. And if you give your cells plenty of light, and might wonder, you might think like, what is this light? How do I give myself plenty of light by going out into the sun? That's one great reason. Another great reason is exercise. When we exercise, we heat our bodies up. We literally produce heat. This is an invisible spectrum of light, right? Like if you go up to the stove, or if you went up to like a candle or a fire, you go up to the fire and you got your eyes closed so you can't see what's going on, but you put your hands up, you can feel that warmth, that heat. That's what happens to our bodies when we exercise, or like if we go in a sauna, or even like a cold plunge, because our body always tries to keep itself stable by heating itself up. But food as well, like when we eat, our body temperature rises. So it's all about light. It's all about giving yourself light so you can feel good and feel wild and free, you know? Feel wild and free and at peace and at calm in your body so that your nervous system can go to that parasympathetic side of the nervous system. And I tell people all the time, because two people recently came to me for asking about insomnia and things for that. And, a lot of times our inability to rest at night is due to that fight or flight response being on. And that could be like you're not giving your body the basic essentials that it needs, those amino and fatty acids that I always talk about. So even just starting off with like a decent breakfast, you think about a decent breakfast, if I'm eating all the amino and the fatty acids that my cell would need, my little baby would need to feel safe, I'm providing the cell with like what it is built of. Like the amino acids build the cell, it builds the function of the cell. So I always talk about carnitine. Carnitine in the second step of the mitochondria, the electron transport chain, which produces the energy of the cell. Carnitine is synthesized from the essential amino acids lysine and methionine. So if you don't have the basic essential amino acids in your diet, you don't have the basic energy function of the cell. And we always think of like, so this is the process, like looking at the cell at this level, this is the process of viewing things as cellular respiration. That's the process of energy that goes on in the cell. In plants, we call it photosynthesis. So that's what happens when plants absorb sunlight energy and they produce sugars and whatever they need to sustain their life. Us, we can do sunlight, but we can also do food, and we can also do exercise. So our bodies are really, really incredible in their capacity to undergo cellular respiration. But this respiration doesn't only happen in the lungs. It happens in your toe cells, your finger cells, your brain cells. Like this process of cellular respiration happens everywhere in the body. So if you are in a state where you're not giving yourself the nutrients that you need, the body has an incredible capacity for energy. So if you're deprived, like I woke up one day and I was like, Rachel, you're just, you want to get out of this stress response. You want to stop feeling anxious and feeling like low in energy, like you don't have enough energy to give to yourself and others. Let's eat a good breakfast. Let's eat a breakfast full of amino and fatty acids. Let's just try and start the day off with an abundance of nutrients, cellular abundance, you know? And it's true that like the brain, I always say this brain takes 20 to 30% of the energy. But your capacity for energy usage is crazy, Like imagine your brain capacity like going towards only scrolling on your phone per day, or imagine that going into like reading and learning, or like I remember reading, I think it was in Robert Sapolsky's books, he talked about how chess players, for strategic planning and even their stress levels, like when our stress levels are higher, like we burn through a lot more energy, so it's all about understanding your energy output. So if you are like a stressed individual, you could say, well, my energy output is pretty high. I'm in a place of fatigue. So to get out of this place of fatigue, I need to lean into my abundance. I need to lean into my nutrients. And how can I do that? Well, I'm not perfect, but I can really try to hit that breakfast. I can really try to get the densest sources of amino acids and fatty acids. For me, I am a ground beef girl. I love ground beef. I love eggs. And a lot of times, like my meals lately consist of eggs, ground beef, and rice, because it's so satisfying to me, and it really it satiates me, and I know that it has all the essential amino and fatty acids. So those are some like examples of food that I go for, but there are tons of other options out there. It's just up to you. The quality and the source is up to you. It's a sad world that we live in where you go to the store and like things are so confusing about like what should I eat, or you go up to the eggs and there's like 17 million different egg options, and the meat, it's like what is going on. It's meant to be confusing, but you can keep it nice and simple. All the food's made of amino acids and fatty acids, and if you get them together, it's like getting two birds and one stone. Who doesn't like two birds with one stone? Who doesn't like some efficiency? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I try to work on, and also just like a meditation practice is really helpful, especially in the morning. Again, like setting the biochemistry up as early as possible. So like eating the breakfast, getting all the minerals. When you can get all the minerals, the body has a chance of doing like wonderful biochemistry, But if you don't give yourself the minerals and the nutrients, it's like you don't stand a fighting chance. And every day you're just caught in this little cycle that's just going like this and this and this. But waking up in the stress response is something very familiar to me that I've had to deal with in my past and still deal with today. But doing a meditation is very helpful. Like if you wake up stressed, there's no better time to be still than right when you wake up. To say, okay, I have plenty enough time. Even if this means that you wake up like 30 minutes earlier and just sit thinking to yourself. I mean, I've woken up hours earlier, just hours earlier. I like waking up like right before the sun comes up because I don't feel rushed. Like there's something about the darkness and the stillness. Again, I'm not perfect with that, but there's something that says I have plenty of time to just sit here and do nothing. Like let me relax. Let me set my chemistry up for success. Let me set up my biochemistry. Let me just be with myself for a little minute, a little quietness in the morning. And a lot of times that can be more helpful than trying to eat your best or trying to exercise. You're trying to force things and force things. Sometimes you just need to wake up earlier and sit back and relax and take your time. Give yourself that time, be generous to yourself. So I'm working on this. So if you're also working on that, good luck. I wish you the best. Um, all good things are wild and free. I just thought it was so beautiful that my sweatshirt happened to say this. It resonated so much with me, and I hope it resonates with you. I hope you remember that you're wild and free. You're capable of being wild and free, if you want to. You can always change your habits, and tomorrow's always a new day. So if you didn't do what you wanted to do today, you could do tomorrow. Like I didn't do everything I wanted to do today, but tomorrow is a new day. new sunrise, new sunset. And yeah, so anyway, hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, you can like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. You could share it with your grandparents and your parents. Tell them that you love them. And as always, good luck.